Okay, there's the headboard that's been made, and you can see down in here for the rails. It's going to attach the footboard. So the headboard's done, and pretty much a little sanding, and because everything's got to be finished. And then now that shows you the results. Now I'm going to show you, as I set the foot rail, how it's done. I've got my two posts that are 36 inches. I've got my rails. They're not cut to length yet, and I'm just sizing it up, taking a look at it, and getting a feel for what I have for stock and how I'm going to put it together. So right now I'm in the middle of making a tenon for this piece of the foot rail. So what we do is we come in here, I come to the workmate. I've already taken my plug saw, as I probably saw before, but it's my Lennox, and it makes a 2 1/8 according to their sizing, and it has this cardboard tip on it. It cuts really fast, so love it. Great tool. 20 bucks. Just can't beat it. Then I go around my sawzall, or sometimes a hand saw. Depending on if I'm going to move it, I put a smaller blade on it. My sawzall, so that I can just faster, and I have to cut the excess off. Once I make that, so here's what I'm doing now. Cut the excess off, and I'll show you the plug.
Last week when John Rose spoke about his view of the outlook.
And then I just take a chisel.
And the interesting thing is that last week that phrase had a very different meaning than it has today.
And I just loosen it up. Usually hit it about 4 places. That shows me how close I am to where before I have to cut. And what I do is go around this until they fall off. Then I know I've cut far enough to make a tenon. I have a little bit more aggressive blade. And just go right around. You may have to mark it. I kind of have a pretty good eye. Keep it up with I cut straight line going around. There. I wanted this pen to be just a little under 2 inches. It's 1 7/8, just right where I want it. Now the next consideration is I have to take this here, and I'm going to take and double a little bit out on both sides of this, so I get a nice fit up in here. As you can see, where the posts and the rail comes together, right there. Well, to do that, here's how I do it. So watch, you'll see. You got a little system I use. It uses a 4-inch hole saw. They're interchangeable for many sizes. Usually goes around. Okay. Now this is a little tricky. You have to be careful when you do this, because you can get hurt. But what I do is I got the drill. This is my guide. Without that guide, this thing will go all over the place and cut you, and could cut you. So I just pick what I want to look at. Basically, on this one it's fairly straight. I think I'm going to look at that right there. Actually, I'll turn it to where it's going to go into the side of the log. What I'm trying to do is I'm beveling this out when it goes up against the post, that bevels around the log here this way. So that's what I'm making. So I just take a look.
Since 1973, innovative developer of diabetes treatment and delivery devices at NovoNordisk-US.com. By the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation. And peaceful world. More information at mattfound.org. This is NPO.
Then I go the opposite, 180. Just make sure I'm lined up here. Clamp down on it. I'll do the same thing on this side.
I'm Lisa Mullins. PRI's The World. History. French government to leave Tokyo Japan across Arab countries. We bring you the latest on PRI's The World. And the music director and I've invited tenor John McVeigh and conductor Robert Lee to join us this Friday morning at 11 for a little tenor talk. We'll highlight favorite moments from the stage and concert hall, and we'll talk about the upcoming concert. Join us for Tenor Talk Friday morning at 11.
I'm going to probably have to take some off the tinning. It just depends on how far this goes, so that we have a good tight fit, but we don't have too much of a tenon stock.
And welcome back. It's time to open the phones. 800-423-8850. Massachusetts. Good morning, Richard. You're on the air.
And then I'd like to go take a look. But I do drill a hole in the tenon because I am going to cut some of this off, because I'm extending the tenon when I'm making this, when I'm cutting this out. So I don't need all this tenon. I just start out there. It gives me something to drill into, because this actually pilots the whole saw, keeps it from wiggling out and coming off and scarring up the wood or you. So, okay, so I got this started. Just want to keep a 45 all the way down. To stop short of cutting through the tenon, of course. Come across tenon. I'll come down a little bit more. There you go. Let's clean it up. This meat right here out with the saw. Use the whole saw for both sides here. I like to lay it on the floor. It's the best place to hammer it together. And you can see I've got that in place. So I'm going to put the bottom one in place, and then I'll start with the pieces in the middle of the spokes, like so. I'll show you how to do that when I get to that.
We have to be agnostic.
Okay, so what I did is I took measurements from the top rail right in here,
We can't force them to
and the bottom, going from this right post here measuring this way and here. Since that was painstakingly done by eye when I did the head post, I don't have to do that now. I can just measure because the head post is all done. I have measurements. Whereas before, the first one I built, I didn't have measurements. So now I've gone down here and I've used those measurements and I run a chalk line, keep everything square, and what I've done is took measurements and kind of lined them up before I install them and drill the holes. That way I'm just taking a second look and just eyeing it, the spokes that are going on the rails at the footboard. So now I'm going to take the rails apart. I made marks on both posts with a little pencil mark. It's hard to see, but right down in here I put a pencil mark so that I can line everything back up the way it is, the way you see it. So when I'm done putting these spokes on, then I'll make sure that I also have it done correctly, because if I don't, then my spokes could be too long or too short, and they're gonna change, and they won't line up to the rails won't go into the post holes like they are now. So it's tricky. One of the things I've learned, a little tip for you, is to measure from here. What I do now is I've learned by doing is I basically take a measure between the 2 points, and that's the amount of wood I want left after I've made the tenon. I want it here, it look like here, and there on the other end, so it's like this. This is going to go in between the rails. That gives me an indicator how long they got to be, and then I know that I'll probably go 1.5 inches. I'm guessing on this. Okay, so we're getting ready to put the spindles on the footboard, and what I did is I took a straight edge piece of oak I have here. I took my measurements off the headboard and I'm transferring them to the footboard, and what I'm doing now is what I did to get the angle so when I drilled my holes is I took the 2 marks from the bottom to the top. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm little update on the spindles. Cutting the tenons on the spindles is I basically eye it for the center, and once I find the center, that drill I go 1.5 inches I have marked on my hole cutter here in green. I mark 1.5 inches because I just cut the tenon at with a square or tape measure. And then I take my sawzall with a metal hacksaw blade. So what I'm doing now is I'm drilling out the rails on the footboard, and I'm just going to show you how I drill one of them. I've got the Irwin Forstner bit, 1 3/4 inch. I've got an angle. Remember I marked the angle I showed you before. So what I'm doing is, in my workmate, or whatever you have, you want to go to your center line and then take your shaft and line it up with the angle that you've predetermined before.